Hello everybody, how are we doing? Wild Trekker here, and welcome back to some Sky Factory 2. Yeah, so we're back playing on Sky Factory, and we've been busy doing a few things. Today's episode, I thought we'd try and overcome this problem of power, because now we've got this Tesseract, which is transferring loads of power. As soon as we connect it to this system, we just lose it all, and this then dies, because all the power generated goes into that in terms of our quarry, because our quarry is just consuming so much power. So, what I thought we'd do today is have a look at building a reactor. So let's have a quick look at this. Reactors, here we go. So this is part of the Big Reactors mod that's in here. Now the smallest reactor we can build, I believe, is a 3x3. So we're going to need a load of these reactor casings to build it. We're also going to need a controller. We need a control rod. We need a power tap to take the power out of it, and we also need an access port. So there seems to be two access ports, but I think they're the same thing. They're just, you know, you can convert them in out kind of thing. And then the other thing we need is if I can find it, we can use reactor glass as well, so we'll probably use some of that. We also need the control rod, which I'm looking for there. Okay, so we need a fuel rod, sorry, not control rod. So we need a yellorium fuel rod. Now the thing with all these, this is the recipe for the basic crafting. If you look at any of these, they all seem to have similar things in there. One being the yellorium, the other one being the graphite bar, and the other being these reactor casings. And yeah, so we're going to need a lot of that to make it. So the yellorium, this is something I've been looking into. Thankfully we've got a lot of yellorite ore, which we've obviously got from our mining operations, and that can be pulverized. Let's have a look. Alloy smelter, shapeless crafting, smelting, induction smelter. Anyway, it can be pulverized and you get two of these out of it, and then after you've done that you can then smelt it, as you can see there, and you make the bar. So maybe it's, yeah, something like that. So anyway, we've got loads of that. So thankfully, because of that, I've been pulverizing it over here and making it. We've got none left in there, and then I've been smelting it as well, and that's basically been done in there. So we've got all the ingots. We've actually got loads. If we actually look in here, we've got yellow, right, yellow, there we go. So we've got nearly 300 of these ingots now, which is fantastic, and we've got some more ore left, we've got some more dust left. So yeah, that's pretty good. So that's one thing out the way. The other thing we actually need to build these reactors, reactors, no, spell it properly, react. Okay, yeah, so the other thing we need is this graphite bar, and that's simple enough, because graphite bar is just coal put into the furnace and smelted, and it gives you a graphite bar. So again, I've made up a load of those, so that's easy enough, and iron ingots we've got loads of as well. Let's just check the other recipes. There's nothing else I don't think we need that we haven't got. We don't need that yet, and we're just doing this basic or passive cooled reactor, I think. And that's the other thing, is reactors can be cooled down. Now this is what did I need? Was it that fluid? No, that's cyanide, so that's what comes out of it. But yes, so what we need is a way of cooling it, and looking at it, water is not a very efficient way of cooling. So we need a better way of cooling it, and the best way of cooling it, if I go, actually, have I got any in here? Let's have a look. Probably easiest thing to do is look at buckets. What have we got by the bucket load? So we haven't got any buckets of it yet, but what we're going to do is try and get this stuff, gelid cryothium. Okay, super cooled, super cold. So we need some of that. Now the way of making that, let's have a look. Doesn't look that easy. It's this dust, which you can make from a snowball and a knitter and redstone and a blizz powder. Now blizz powder we can make from blizz rods, so that's okay because we've got a few blizz rods. We've got 6 of those, so we can make blizz powder, and we can also make the seed, the blizz seed, and therefore make more powder. And the other thing was this knitter. Let's have a look again, going through it. Knitter, yes. So again, this is something that you can pulverize sandstone and you get it as a byproduct of that. So that's no problem to make. However, it then got me thinking, because we could get snowballs as well, and again snowballs we can craft out of this water and air things. So I actually went ahead and did all that. I've got some seeds up there growing, which are water seeds and air seeds and knitter seeds and whatever, but I had a thought, and oh, I know I haven't got on. I can't fly without my suit. There we go. I'm still not flying. Why am I not flying? There we go. As the sun sets. Yeah, look at this baby. This is a gelid crothium cow, fluid cow. And as you see, we got some fluid. We got a lot of fluid. We got 2 tanks full. Each tank is 16 buckets, is it? Yeah, 16 buckets, and that one's 16 buckets. So cool, we've got that. And yeah, so it just got me thinking, can I, because one of the tasks we've got to do is automate the milking of 20 fluid cows. So I thought, if we can automate this guy, and this is turned off at the moment by the way, if we can automate this guy to get the fluid, then that'll be perfect, because I'll have my fluid. I don't need to ball about the knitter and everything else. So what we've got here is essentially an autonomous activator, and that is powered, as you can see from the top. The power also powers this fluid transposer. So the idea behind it is, in here we have a bucket, and I've got 2 buckets. I'll explain why in a minute. And then from that, when the bucket is full, because in here we've put a blacklist, so in other words, only full buckets can leave there. It can't pull out empty buckets, basically. So when the bucket is, so when we turn this on, it would then essentially take the liquid from the cow, because it's right clicking on the cow. The full bucket would then go into here, and as you can see, there's some in here already because we've already had a bucket full. In fact, we could probably just turn this on while we're here doing this. So if we do activated ignored redstone signal, so that should be working now. Let's have a look. It should be flashing in the middle. It is, so that's on. It's not 100% accurate. I'm not sure whether I should have this at the top rather than the bottom. I did position it though, so it's actually aiming high, and it seems to randomly take it. How's his health, by the way, as well? He's still 4 hearts. Okay. He lost a heart somewhere, I think, in the wall, because he's only in a 1x1 square with a bit of fence post. But yeah, so fine. Anyway, that bucket comes in here. It then empties, so it already has done it because we now got 1500 in there. So while we've been doing that, it's done that. The cow has a cooldown time, which is absolutely fine. You can see there's 3,940 odd, 30 odd ticks. Anyway, so that's counting down till it can do it again. The bucket then is pulled out of here. This has a white list of empty buckets only, so empty buckets are then pulled out of there and pushed back in again. So that's a simple bucket going round solution, and then the power goes off there, and then at the bottom we have a fluid pipe and or fluid conduct, and that then goes into these tanks. And I thought I'd put them in the tanks because I thought when I've got loads of these up, that's going to look really cool along there. And then I had an even better idea, because you know that's what I do and all that. Let's just go through here and look underneath, because I thought to myself, well, maybe we need some way of getting these. If I move these cabling around up here, we could make an area here, and what we'd end up with is all the liquids in the ceiling of this thing, showing all the liquids, and all we have to do then is sort of pull them out of there. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. What we need to do now is make this reactor, and I think I'm possibly going to put it somewhere here. Oh, my screen froze there for a second. That was really odd. Yeah, so what I think I'm going to do, and it seems to be getting a little bit of lag here, but I should probably put my reactor out here, because I've got all the power is going to go into the system here, so it seems like a logical place to build it. So I'll probably extend this platform out this way, and then this is where we're going to put our reactor. But getting all the bits together shouldn't be too difficult. It should be fairly straightforward, even with me with my broken hand. Yes, it's still broken, guys. It's still hurting. I'm learning to use my mouse in a way that is efficient enough. Reactors. So let's have a look. So these guys, I've kind of done some calculations, and I reckon for the one I'm going to build, I'm going to need something like 200 blocks. So we are just going to go ahead and make a few stacks of those. Never have too many of these, I don't think. And then that's going to enable us then put those back in the system, and I'm going to get the rest of the bits together, get that floor ready, and then we'll assemble the whole of this together, I think. Well, I think I've got everything I need together for doing this. Now, in terms of reactors, the smallest one you can do, I believe, is a 3x3. So basically you would make these blocks here like this, and this is it's just the casing blocks, and you've got to make these, so it's got to be like this in terms of a cube, and we're just going to do that, and there you go, and one across there. So that's the small thing. So I believe you do have to make the sort of the cube shape, although it can obviously be wider. It could be 5, 7, what have you. Now the one thing you need is, first of all, we've got a controller end, and that goes up the top, I believe. And then the other thing we need is a controller, so that can go one side there, and then we've got these input output things which I believe we can change. So yeah, and they go blue for input output, put that one there, yellow, that's fine. And what else have we got? We've got the tap, and the other thing we need, which have I got in my input, there we go, is a fuel rod. So a fuel rod's got to go in the middle, and that's got to go underneath this here, this control rod on the top, and then we just have to finish it with a power tap, and there you go, it changed. So that is a reactor, and if we look on this, it's offline, and I do believe we can make it online, activate, but there's no fuel in there, so it's obviously not making anything or anything like that. So yeah, so that's the so the idea is you then put these yellorium in the input, and then out in the output, and then believe it makes this cyanide possibly. So yeah, so that's the smallest reactor, but it's not really that powerful, so that's not what I'm going to build. No, I'm going to build something much bigger. You know me, I don't do things by half, and we are going to be upgrading this. So this is only a temporary reactor, or well, it might be, you know, a reactor, and there'll be a second reactor because there's two types of reactors. So what I've done is not left anything. I've built a reactor room. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, using these decorative lamps, which are really nice. You can make lots of different coloured ones. And then I've just basically built it out of quartz. So we've got I've got loads and loads of quartz. I'll try and work out what block. Didn't want to use the lab blocks again because we've kind of used those in there. So I thought I use quartz because you've got the normal white quartz, we've got some smoky quartz there, and then we've got some blaze quartz, which is fairly easy to make. It's just a case of adding coal to the quartz for the dark one, or some blaze powder to the quartz. Yeah, so it's fairly easy to make. It's easy in the recipes, and I think with these lights as well, I think that looks kind of cool. So as you can see on here, we've already put some reactor casing down. So what we need to do is build this up, and I've also put some reactor casing as a ceiling. So this is going to be the size of the reactor we are going to build, and it's going to have 25 as you can see here, of the fuel rods, and that's really what makes the power. And then we've got to cool this thing, so we're going to then obviously we've got to make sure we get enough of the coolant to go in here. So that makes a cube, as you can see, we've got top and bottom on there. Now, how much glass do we have? So I made some glass. We haven't got much reactor glass, but I wanted to make some reactor glass because I think it's important to see what's inside the reactor. So what we could probably do is put the casing, not there, but on the round this sort of area here. And I'm going to have to make sure I leave a way for me to get out, otherwise I'm going to get stuck. Right, let's leave a door there. So we'll put that all the way around, and the idea is going to be that these reactor rods here, if we put one in the center and then put one either side like this, and they actually let off light, which is cool. So that means we've got 5, and we can stack those up. So we will have to get rid of these. So it's going to be again in a 5 pattern, I guess. 1. So yeah, so these are going to have to be the what do we call it? I'm useless with names. I am so rubbish with names. What have we got here? Let's get rid of that. These things. The reactor control rods. Yep. So I presume, yeah, they just automatically face in one direction, which is pretty good. Good, and down. That one there, and this one, I think. Just check that. Yes. So that's what it'll be like from the top. So yeah, you basically got these 5 lots of fuel rods coming down, and we'll probably have to break into this to fix it again. Yeah, so that's oh, I didn't realise you could actually okay, so we've got some inventory here, and you can name them. Okay, so I think the idea is you can control these to how much they use and that sort of thing, so that they are very sort of flexible on what you can do with them. And I think probably when we're putting the coolant in, we'll probably do that from above, and I'm hoping you don't have to fill it completely. It's just a, you know, drop it from the top kind of thing. So that's the last one of those. Okay, cool. So that is, yeah, that's all that done. We didn't really need the door, did we? That was just rubbish. I don't know if we've got enough of these casings, so that's going to go there. So what we then need, and I don't know if, and that'll be interesting to find out, I don't know if these access ports have to be, you know, in other words, could I put a ROADM along here? I'm going to try this. So if we put those there, will this work? I have no idea. We've got an input and output. Although there is some, yeah, there is some sort of, I think, mileage in putting them on either side, because what we might want to do is automate bringing them in. So we like, you know, an input output. So let's put them both here, and then set one to input, one to output, and we'll bring, see, in theory you could probably make a wall of this and sort of have one going up for the roof and things like that. So let's just, because it'd be quite nice to have a central control area, so they could easily drop through the floor if we wanted to automatically input, automatically output, and then we've got to have somewhere for this, for not for that, but for the redstone to, or the redstone energy, shall we say. We've got to be able to tap into that, and that's what that is. Not enough controllers, needs one more controller. Okay, well, that's cool. That kind of works. Do you want to bring a controller over there? No, we're going to bring the controller here as we walk in. I think that kind of makes sense to me. And then I'm going to fill this in with glass, because I think it's so cool. So cool to be able to see. I want at least one wall of glass, which means we're probably going to have to make some more before we can get this actually finished up. Hopefully this breaks and we can recover it. It does. Yeah, so we need a few more bits of glass, but that looks just so much more cooler than the fact you can see in. what about round here? So I think we'll make this completely. My placing with my hand is not very good at the moment, to say the least. What are we doing? Yeah, every time I take something to the waste disposal tin and throw it out, I'm kind of double checking because I'm misclicking on things, and yeah, so okay, so that's like the input output wall. That's going to be there, so let's, again, we can put all this going in this side. You can hear some spiders being murdered in the mob farm. That's good. Not outside here. Yeah, the glass ones unfortunately are quite expensive, so we're going to stick, I think, just one wall of glass to be able to see in. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off and get some more glass, and we'll put the last bit in together and see if this converts into a reactor. So here we go, guys. Does it work? Yay! We have a reactor. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm guessing in our input we need to stick some of that. Did that go in? Where did that go? Oh, look at that! Wow, that does look cool. Yes, very good. Right, and so we've got that in there, and I guess if we activate, we are producing, and it's got a reserve here. This is the core temperature. Yeah, energy buffer, so it's building up all that energy, which is fantastic. 3,700 flux per tick. Yeah, okay, 3,700 RF per tick. Now that's not bad. 3,700. That's pretty good, to be honest. However, if we can get this core heat down, it will generate more, basically. So that's the idea. And I'm assuming that yeah, 60% stored. So I'm guessing we can put some more in. This is going to be something we're going to have to work out. Yeah, so it's taken more. We're going to work out how to get a supply of this, or at least how to get a supply of that to turn into that. We can do it through sifting, we can do it through mining, and I'm going to have a look at see if we can do it through magical crops as well. So is that still generating? It is, even though it's offline. I guess there's some residual in there anyway. Let's kind of go, there you go, so it's kind of come to a stop. Brilliant, okay. And we need to get the coolant in there really to see if that makes a huge difference. But I think, guys, to be perfectly honest, I think we're going to be doing that in the next episode. This one's been going on for a little while, and I'm going to try and keep them down a little bit if I can. So yeah, especially with my hand the way it is at the moment, I kind of want to keep these things now what I've got to be careful of, look, you see I've done that, gone into that mode, and I'll probably end up walking off of here, so we're not going to do that, are we? No, sir. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed that episode anyway. We've got to hook this up, we've got to get some coolant in it, and we're going to, yeah, we're going to have lots of power. It'll be interesting to see 3,700. I wonder what it's going to be when we've got it fully cooled. So join me next time and find out. My name's Wild Tracker. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Bye-bye.